What should you do when God tells you that someone is your husband, but you see absolutely no movement happening? This is a really, really highly asked question that I get from a lot of you, and that's, what do I do when God has told me that someone is my husband, but he's getting into another relationship, or there is no movement, etc., etc.? This is what I would do. When I first met my husband, I literally thought he wanted nothing to do with me. I don't know why, maybe it was like my own limiting belief, but I took it upon myself to, just not think of him anything more than friends. At that point, I didn't know he was my husband, but as I was convincing myself that he was just a friend, that I didn't like him, there was nothing that was ever gonna happen between us. God started to pursue me through dreams, through friends. People would pull me aside and be like, you guys are gonna get married, through words that he spoke to me before I even moved to Florida, that he was my husband. A lot of times our emotions get the best of us, so we can start thinking that something is something when God's spirit is actually telling us something different. So if you feel as though God is telling you that someone is your husband, but yet he's not moving in any way, he's not making any motions towards you, he's getting into another relationship, then I would focus my eyes off of thinking that he's my husband and keep thinking that he is just a friend, he's just a person that there. One, you're not gonna get your heart too invested too soon. You're gonna convince your heart that, and convince your soul that he's just a friend, and in that, God will be able to speak through that. And two, ladies, take the pressure off of yourself to know who your husband is. I have so many conversations where women are going through a list and checking things off to make sure that this guy they're talking to is their husband. And I do think we need a list. Well, some people need a list, but I think going into talking to someone or dating someone with the intention of, is this my husband or not, can give us the wrong perspective and can make us think that he is something that he's not. And so take the pressure off of yourself of, is this my husband, is this not my husband, and just be his friend. I prayed for so long with the Lord that God would help me to just be Freddie's friend. I low-key had a little bit of not low-key, high-key, had a lot of trauma with men in the past. And for me, being a friend to a guy was really hard because I always thought that they would look at me in a different way. Until God really did heal me. And so I really wanted to just be Freddie's friend. I didn't think he was my husband. I just low-key liked him, but I wasn't allowing myself to believe that I liked him. And I prayed so much that the Lord would help me to be Freddie's friend and just his friend, just be a good friend to him. So if you're in a season where you believe that God is telling you that someone's your husband, but you're seeing something completely different, I know the innate nature of a woman is to jump into that, to control it, to tell the guy he's your husband, to start stalking the guy and following the guy and asking him out on the date, but just take a step back. Take the pressure off. If that was meant to be your husband in this time, God would make it happen. Convince your heart that he is just a friend, that there's nothing more about it, so that way you don't get way too invested way too soon. I hope this helped. We'll talk later. Ciao.